It's already 2:08. Apologies for being late. Came from another meeting. Can we already call the meeting to order? Secretariat, can we do the roll call, please? Do you have a quorum?
Yes, sir, we do have a quorum. Mr. will act as secretariat for today's meeting, sir.
Alam mo na? Ayaw mo na, Irish.
Hindi naman po.
Pinabasa mo na sa iba. Sige, go ahead, Attorney Bo.
Yes, sir. Sir, we already have a quorum. First for today, Attorney Roberto Martin Buenaventura,
Present.
Lieutenant Colonel Junela,
Present.
Miss Jocelyn Ching,
Present.
and Miss Diana Ines Briñas.
Present.
Can we
Thank
dispense with call, please? Just the determination of the quorum. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so with, considering we do have a quorum, let's begin the meeting proper. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the BAC Charlie meeting for today. So we'll proceed to the main items in the agenda. We have the first item would be the pre-bid conference for asphalt overlay of runway and runway markings for the Tacloban Airport Development Project, amounting to 56,695,722 pesos and 95 cents. This is an ADMS DOTR downloaded project. Tama? It's not stated here. DOTR downloaded project to, no?
Yes, sir, that is a...
Yes. Okay. Do we have prospective bidders for this? Present?
Yes, sir. We have prospective bidders
Okay,
present.
let's already admit them, please.
Will do, sir.
Okay na sila?
Yes, sir. Admitting.
Sir, our prospective bidder is already in the room. We have Mr. Simon Gavino.
Isa lang? In any case, should there be additional bidders, let's just acknowledge them later on when they have questions. But just in the interest of time, let's proceed with the presentation, please, as required under the GPPB rules. Who will be presenting this? Will it be the end user, the TWG?
Sir, Engineer Mike Macabenta, ADMS TWG will be presenting for this. Engineer
Alright.
Mike, go ahead.
Thank you, Attorney Frank. Mr. Chair, proceed. We'll proceed with the presentation for the pre-bidding conference for the project Asphalt Overlay, runway and runway markings for the Tacloban Airport Development Project. Welcome bidders to the pre-bidding conference for this project. The invitation to bid specifies that the title of the project is Asphalt Overlay of Runway and Runway Markings for the Tacloban Airport Development Project. The source of funds for this project is GAA CY 2017, the OTR downloaded projects. Approved budget for the contract is 56 million 695,722 pesos and 95 cents. Also specified in the invitation to bid are the minimum technical personnel requirement. In the left side of the screen, one project engineer, civil, one geodetic engineer, one materials engineer, one construction foreman, one safety and health officer. Right side of the screen, list is is the list of minimum major equipment requirements. An example for this minimum major requirement is concrete, one unit of concrete with 14-inch diameter. Um, Also in the invitation to bid specifies that the required PCAP license for this project is medium A license category B. Road, highway, highway pavement, railway, airport, horizontal structures and bridges. For the duration of the project, 90 calendar days inclusive of 21 rainy or unworkable days. If the bidder wants to purchase the bidding documents, applicable fee is 56,000 pesos, inclusive of 12% VAT. Next in our discussion, are salient points for the bid on the bid data sheet. Clause 3.0 is required to be submitted. This shall include the following documents as an attachment to the certificate of site inspection. Um, First is copy of company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. Uh, Second, copy of airport or facility visitor's logbook with the entry of the name and signature who conducted the site inspection. Third attachment is the picture of the proposed site, including the personnel who conducted the site inspection together with the airport manager or his duly authorized representative. Bids not complying with these instructions shall be disqualified. Um, this is the sample illustration of the site, certificate of site inspection, company ID, and airport logbook. ITB Clause 5.2 refers to the eligible qualification of the eligible bidders with respect to contracts similar to the project um, that must be with the same major category of work. Similar project will refer to asphalting of roads or other horizontal structures. 7 point ITB clause 7.1 um, states that the subcontracting is not allowed. ITB 10.1 um, bidders shall submit all eligibility and technical documents as specified in the section 10 checklist of and technical financial documents. Four is the list of the key personnel's required minimum years of experience for general experience, 5 years. For relevant experience with similar projects is 3 years. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. So previously um, shown in the previous slides is the major minimum requirement for major equipment. This is the list of the major equipment. Bids not complying with this instruction shall be disqualified. I'll give emphasis to this ITB Clause 16. Um, the sealing and instruction regarding sealing marking of bids. Um, because for this, for procurement of other projects, this this ITB clause is um, the reason why we have failure bidding or disqualified bidders not following the instruction for this ITB clause. Um, each and every page of the bidding document submitted shall be initialed or signed by the duly authorized representative. Submitted eligibility, technical and financial documents shall be properly marked with index tabs or ear tabs and must be sequentially paginated in accurate order in the form of example 3 out of 100. Page number of last page of the document must per this uh, pagination shall be in per envelope basis. Also, the pagination should be sequential based on the entire span of the whole document documents inside the envelope. Bids not complying to this instruction shall be automatically disqualified. Second instruction for this ITB clause is that each bidder shall submit one copy of the first and second component of his bid. Sample page for ITB clause 16, table of contents, I index tab, um, with initial or signed and must be sequentially paginated in accurate order. ITB clause 19.2, partial bid for this project is not allowed. Infrastructure project is packaged in a single lot, and the lot shall be divided into sublots for the purpose of bidding, evaluation, and contract award. So for this slide, um, shows the checklist of technical and financial documents. Include, as this checklist is included in the Philippine bidding documents posted in the field just for this project. Um, we'll now proceed with the in discussing the project technical details. So for this project, the asphalt overlay of Runway is on the runway 118, runway 18. So these are the details of the asphalt overlay. Runway typical section, typical section and the side development. With slide shown are the runway markings. Once the asphalt overlaying is done, um, this is the illustration of the sample runway markings. So we'll now proceed with the scope of work. First scope is the item SPL01 is the mobilization demobilization. This work includes mobilization and demobilization of contractors, personnel, and equipment necessary to perform the work required under the contract. For the first major item in the scope of work is the asphalt overlay of runway. Sub-category is P603, P-603-5.1 emulsified asphalt top coat. Area covered for this scope is 36,000 square meters. 36,000 square meters for the runway. 1,800 square meters for turnaround pod, fix and transition, 405 square meters, temporary transitions, 26 units, is total area is 10,530 square meters. This top coat is covers the total weight of 30 metric tons. Subcategory of asphalt overlay is asphalt mixed pavement surface, bituminous hot grade. This item includes supply of labor, material, and equipment necessary in laying one layer of conventional asphalt hot mix with a thickness of 50 millimeter. This item covers a total weight of 5,040.66 metric tons. The parts of the runway that will be covered with this scope are identified below. Subcategory of A third subcategory of asphalt overlay is the pavement removal. Pavement removal or asphalt temporary transitions. This item includes the supply of labor, materials, and equipment required in the removal and disposal of temporary asphalt transitions. Covers total 26 26 number of operations. Total area is 1,530 530 square meters. Aggregate sub-base course at the runway shoulders. This item covers a total of 227.3 cubic meters, excluding shrinkage factor. This aggregate sub-base course is 50 millimeter thick. The third scope of work is the runway marking. So this item includes supply of labor, materials, and tools for the painting of affected runway markings, including during the construction using flat latex paint for two coatings and indicated on the approved plans. It also includes the removal of the displaced threshold threshold markings after the construction. This item covers a total area of 4,354 square meters. So other details are listed below. For new painting, displaced threshold, new painting to be raised. Uh, that ends our presentation. We're gonna proceed with questions from we'll entertain the questions from the bidders. If any, will be assisted by the end user representative, Engineer Karim.
Thank you, for makabenta. So at this point, this juncture, we open the floor for queries and clarifications from our prospective bidders. Before you ask your question, kindly introduce yourself and the company that you represent, and then proceed with your question, please. Thank you. Jenny Irish, do you have any additional bit of knowledge?
We have one additional bidder who will answer, Mr. Elvin Bustamante, sir, and Mr. Edward Zalman Gabino. Leaders, if you have questions, you may introduce yourself and the company you represent.
Um, uh, Mr. Chair, I just heard to the attendance of the bidder present. In Architect Elvin Bustamante is not is not a bidder.
All right. From
Did you
bidders, do you have any question? Now's the time to raise them. If there's none, just like to announce as well, you have the opportunity to writing up to 10 days before the scheduled opening of bids. So should you not be able to raise them now, you still have the opportunity to do so in writing by submitting it to the back secretariat. So again, is there any more questions? If there's none, we'll formally close this pre-bid conference, and we will just await for your queries if there's any, and for your submissions on the date of the submission of bids. Okay, sige. Let's move forward. Can we already dismiss the bidders? Thank you.
Thank you po.
Okay na?
Yes, sir.
Sige. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have the pre-procurement conference for Siargao Airport Development Project, amounting to 211,461,023 pesos and 94 cents. Also an ADMS DOTR downloaded project. Kindly indicate that in the notice, please, next time.
Will do, sir.
Sige. Who will be presenting this?
Miss Caril Donato from ADMS, sir.
Sige. Let's have the presentation, please, for the consideration of the back members. Thank you.
Ms. Karen, you can start with your presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The ADMS would like to present one of the DOTR projects for pre-procurement, the Siargao Airport Development Project. The scope of work includes the construction of passenger terminal building and canopy, construction of administrative building, powerhouse, construction of two-bay fire station building, storage building, K9 building, construction of material recovery facility, construction of guardhouse, security post, water tank, BRF, vehicular parking area, concreting of ground service area, expansion of apron, drainage system, construction of perimeter fence, and construction of security fence with gate. Before I proceed to the presentation of bidding documents, may I first present the plans of the said project. Shown on your screen is the site development plan for the Siargao Airport Development Project. Also the site development plan. This area is the location of the proposed admin building. Next is the ground floor plan for the admin building. Another scope is the construction of powerhouse. Shown is the perspective of the said scope. Next is the site development plan. Also the ground floor plan and other details for the construction of powerhouse. Next scope is the construction of two-bay fire station building. Shown is the perspective of the said scope. Next is the location map for the two-bay fire station. Also the floor plan of the said scope. Another is the construction of storage building together with the location. Next is the floor plan and other details for the construction of storage building. Next is the construction of K9 building together with the vicinity map or the location of the said scope. Next is the floor plans together with the details of the said scope. Another is the construction of material recovery facility. Shown is the perspective and the location map of the said scope. Also shown is the floor plans and other details of the said scope. Next is the construction of guardhouse together with the location map. Also shown is the floor plans and other details for the construction of guardhouse. Next is the construction of security post together with the location map. Also shown is the floor plans and other details for the security post. Next is the construction of water tank together with the location map. And the layout plan and other details for the water tank. Next is the construction of VRF area. Next is the horizontal project, including the concreting of vehicular parking area and ground service area. Shown on your screen is the VPA and GSA layout plan. Next is the layout plan or site development plan for the proposed apron expansion. Also for the concreting of VPA, we have the drainage system. Next is the construction of perimeter fence, CHB, and security fence. And that's all for the presentation of the approved plans. Next is the presentation of the bidding documents. Invitation to bid, project title Siargao Airport Development Project, with project description of construction of PTB, passenger terminal building and canopy, admin building, power plant, two-bay fire station building, storage building, K9 building, material recovery facility, construction of guardhouse, construction of security post, water tank, VRF, concreting of vehicular parking area, concreting of ground service area, expansion of apron, drainage system, construction of perimeter fence, and construction of security fence with gate. Source of fund for the said project, GAACY 2016 for the DOTR downloaded projects. The approved budget for the contract is 211,462,023 pesos and 94 centavos. Also shown is the minimum technical personnel requirement and the minimum major equipment requirement. The contractor must have applicable license of medium A, license category B for road, highway pavement, railways, airport, horizontal structures, and bridges. Also, medium A, license category B for building and industrial plant. The duration of the said project is 660 calendar days, inclusive of 27 rainy unworkable days. Also, the bidding documents will cost 56,000 pesos, inclusive of 12% VAT. For the bid data sheet, Itb Class 3.0, Certificate of Site Inspection, duly signed by Ms. Josefina L. Nunez, Airport Manager of Siargao Airport, or her duly authorized representative is required to be submitted. This shall include the following documents as attachment. First is the copy of company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. Next is the copy of the airport or facility visitor's logbook with the entry of the name and signature who conducted the site inspection. And lastly, a picture of the proposed site, including the personnel who conducted the site inspection, together with the airport manager or officer in charge or his duly authorized representative. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. For ITB Clause 5.2, the bidder must have an experience of having completed a single largest completed contract or SLCC that is similar to this project, equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. For this purpose, contracts similar to the project refers to contracts which have the same major categories of work, which shall be Category 1 for building construction, improvement, rehabilitation, repair with an ABC of 104,545,194.83 centavos. For Category 2, concreting of roads or other horizontal structures with ABC of 105,382,105.41. For ITB Clause 7.1, subcontracting is not allowed. ITB Clause 10.1, bidders shall submit all eligibility and technical documents as specified in Section 10 for the checklist of technical and financial documents contained on the pre-bid conference. Next, for the ITB Clause 10.4, the key personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set below for the purpose of executing the contract. Occupation and Safety and Health Officer with a general experience of 5 years in general engineering and a relevant experience of 3 years in concreting of roads or other structures or other horizontal structures and building construction, improvement, rehabilitation, and repair. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. Also for ITB Clause 10.5, shown on your screen is the minimum major equipment requirements. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. For ITB Clause 16, each and every page thereof shall be initialed or signed by the duly authorized representative or representatives of the bidder. Submitted eligibility, technical and financial documents shall be properly marked with index tabs or ear tab and must be sequentially paginated in accurate order in the form that is page 3 of 100, page number of last page of the document per envelope. And should be sequential based on the entire span of the whole documents inside the envelope. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be automatically disqualified. For number 2, each bidder shall submit one copy of the first and second components of its bid. Next to discuss is the scope of work. For SPL01, we have mobilization and demobilization. Mobilization shall include all activities and associated costs for transportation of contractors' personnel, equipment, and establishment of offices, and other necessary facilities for the contractor's operations at the site. Demobilization shall include the disassembly of offices and other facilities on the site, as well as the removal and hauling of debris and rubbish materials. First on the scope is the construction of passenger terminal building and canopy. Under this item, we have site works. Number 2, we have civil structural works. For this item, we have concrete works, steel works, roofing works. Next is the architectural works. Under architectural works, we have tile works, masonry works, carpentry works, painting works, doors and windows, and miscellaneous works. Next, for the construction of PTB is the electrical works. Number 5 is the mechanical works. Item 6 is the plumbing works. And lastly, for the construction of PTB is the furniture. Next scope is the construction of administrative building. For this, for this item, we have first the site works, the civil structural works, and for the civil structural works, we have concrete works, steel works, and roofing works. Next is the architectural works. Under architectural works, we have tile works, masonry works, carpentry works, painting works, and doors and windows. Also, we have the electrical works, including storage and K9. Next is the mechanical works and the plumbing works. Another scope is the construction of powerhouse. For this item, we have site works, civil structural works. For the civil structural works, we have concrete works, steel works, roofing works, and next is the architectural works. Under this item, we have masonry works, painting works, and doors and windows. Next is the electrical works, including MRF, guardhouse, security post, water tank, and streetlights. Next is the mechanical works, and lastly for the powerhouse, the plumbing works. Next scope is the construction of 2-bay fire station building. Under this item, we have site works, civil structural works, and for the civil structural works, we have concrete works, steel works, and roofing works. Number 3 is the architectural works. For architectural works, we have tile works, masonry works, carpentry works, and painting works, doors and windows, and miscellaneous works. Number 4 is the electrical works. Next is the mechanical works. And lastly, for the 2-bay fire station, we have the plumbing works. Next scope is the construction of storage building. Under this item, we have the site works, civil structural works. For civil structural works, we have concrete works, steel works, roofing works. Next is the architectural works. For architectural works, we have carpentry works, painting works, and doors and windows. We have also the last item for the storage building, which is the plumbing works. Another scope is the construction of K9 building. Under this item, we have the site works, civil structural works, with concrete works, steel works, and roofing works. Next is the architectural works, including the masonry works, carpentry works, painting works, endorsing works. Another scope is the construction of material recovery facility. Under this scope is the site works, the civil structural works, including concrete works, steel works, and roofing works. Next is the architectural works, including tile works, masonry works, carpentry works, painting works, and doors and windows. Lastly, for the said scope, we have the plumbing works. Another scope is the proposed construction of guardhouse, which includes the site works and the civil structural works, including concrete works, steel works, and roofing works. Next is the architectural works, including tile works, masonry works, carpentry works, painting works, and doors and windows. Another scope is the construction of water tank, which includes site works, civil structural works with concrete works, and the plumbing works. Next item is the construction of BRF area, which includes civil structural works with concrete works and steel works. Next, for the horizontal projects or horizontal scope, we have the concreting of vehicular parking area. Under this item, we have item 100 for clearing and grabbing. This item covers from station 0 plus 789 to station 0 plus 909 by 15 meters thick. Another item is the item 102 for excavation and disposal. This item covers from station 0 plus 789 to station 0 plus 909. Next is the item 104 for embankment with the same station. Item 105 for subgrade preparation, also with the same station. Next is the item 201.2 for aggregate subbase course, covering with the same station. And lastly, for the concreting of VPA is the item 311 for Portland cement concrete pavement. This item covers from station 0 plus 789 to station 0 plus 909. For VPA, for the area of VPA, we have 3,857 square meter by 0.25 meters. For curb and gutter, we have 997.5 meters by 11 square meter. For the sidewalk and other concrete pavement, we have 2,047 square meter by 0.10 meters. Next is the miscellaneous works, which includes the construction of wheel stop, PWD pedestal and markings, and VPA markings, as indicated on the approved plans. Another scope is the construction of bridge area. Under this item, we have item 100 for clearing and grabbing. This item covers from station 0 plus 755 to station 0 plus 990 by 0.15 meters at 0.15 meter thick. Next item is the item 102 for excavation and disposal, covering the same station. Another item is the item 104 for embankment with the same station. Item 105 subgrade preparation with the same station. Item 201.2 aggregate base course also with the same station. And for item 311 for the Portland cement concrete pavement also with the same station. And for the ground service area, we have 2,588.75 square meter by 0.25 meters. Next is the expansion of apron. Under this item, we have the item 100, the clearing and grabbing. This item covers from station 0 plus 600 to station 1 plus 110 by 0.15 meter thick. Next is the item 101 for the removal of existing structure and obstruction. This item includes the demolition of existing VPA with the area of 5,276.536 square meter. Also the existing PTB with an area of 906.476 square meter. The existing admin building with an area of 120.574 square meter. And lastly, the existing fire station with an area of 170.414 square meter. Another item for the expansion of apron is the excavation and disposal. This item covers from station 0 plus 600 to station 1 plus 100. Next is the item 104 for embankment, also with the same station. Another is the item 105 for the subgrade preparation. This item covers from station 0 plus 755 to station 0 plus 907. Next is the item 201.2 for the aggregate base course, covering the same station. And lastly, for the expansion of apron, the item 311 for the Portland cement concrete pavement with the same station and covering the dimension of the apron, which is 162 meters by 40 meters by 0.3 meter thick. Next scope is the provision of drainage system. Under this item, we have item 1.00 for site works, item 2.00 for civil structural works, and for this item, we have concrete works and steel works. Next item is the construction of perimeter fence. Under this item, we have the construction of CHB perimeter fence with 35 bays at 15 meters per bay. For this item, it includes the site works, the civil structural works, or concrete works, masonry works, steel works, and also the architectural works, including the masonry works. Also, lastly, for the Siargao Airport Development, the construction of security fence with gate covering 128 bays at 2 meters per bay for the fence. For the crash gate, we have 2 units at 6 meters per unit. And for the man gate, we have 1 unit at 1.25 meters per unit. Under this item, we have site works. For site works, we have security fence with gate at BPA. Fence is equal to 98 security fence with gate at BPA with fence equal to 99 bays at 2 meters per bay and 5 sets for the gate, 2 sets for the gate. Next is the security fence with gate at the existing control tower with 29 bays at 2 meters per bay for the fence and gate, 1 set of gate for man gate with 1.25 meters. And for concrete works, for security fence with gate at DPA, fence 99 bays at 2 meters per bay. For security fence with gate at existing control tower, for the fence, we have 29 bays at 2 meters per bay. Next is the masonry works. Next is the steel works. And lastly, for the temporary facilities, we have staff house and the provision of service vehicle. For the service vehicle, this covers the provision of at least one. This covers the provision of one lease or rent-to-own service vehicle, brand new latest model, 4x4 pickup with cab, air-conditioned automatic transmission, or power window and diesel for the exclusive use of the CAAP engineers supervising the project for the period of 660 calendar days. And next is the checklist of technical and financial documents shown on your screen. And that's all for the presentation of the Siargao Airport Development Project for pre-procurement. And the table is now open for any suggestions, questions, and corrections. And also the ADMS would like to present. I would like to recommend this project for posting.
All right, thank you for that presentation. This juncture, do we have any questions from our members as well as the TWG and the Secretariat on the documents presented? Prab, okay naman tayo dun sa checklist, the usual items na pinapabago natin na consider naman.
Mr. Chair, just on the checklist, I think hindi pa po nila na-consider doon sa visitor's logbook.
Wording
Under
that we use.
item letter K, number 2, copy of the airport facility visitor's logbook. Wala pa po yung entry of the name of the person who conducted the site inspection. Kirill, paki-correct na lang siguro.
Okay sir, noted po.
Para consistent lang din dun sa sa BDS clauses natin. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Chair.
All right, how about from the other members? Do you have questions? If there's none, the recommendation is for posting. Maybe we can have a motion, please.
Through the chair.
Yes, Ma'am Vani.
Yes, I move to proceed with the posting of the procurement of Siargao Airport Development Project as recommended by the.
I thank you for that motion. Is there any second?
Second, sir.
Check.
Thank you. There being motion duly seconded, let this project, Siargao Airport Development Project, be accordingly posted as recommended. And user, please coordinate with the Secretariat for the necessary documentation. Okay, with that,
Noted, sir. Thank you.
let's move forward. Ano na ba sunod? Meron pa ba?
None,
Other matters.
no other matters, sir.
Sure ka ba? Frank, may other matters ka?
Wala na po, sir, for now. Thank you, sir.
Hindi mo alam mo, may other matters yan si Frank. Frank, you know the instruction of the DG regarding Friday's board meeting. He wants the Tacloban, the steps undertaken for the Tacloban negotiations to be presented as an update. Ay,
Yes,
wala
sir.
pa,
Yes,
wala
sir.
pang award. Okay. Sige, and then
Yes, sir.
I think because the secretary decided to visit, we move the dry run tomorrow. Since ikaw lang naman ang represent buong board, okay na ba?
Buong board?
Yeah, ikaw lang agenda eh.
Oh my God. I think meron din sila, Attorney Irish, yung sa RSD po.
Ay, tinanggal ko na. Hindi, joke lang. Yun na, meron.
Sige.
Yeah. Sige,
Sige, sir.
we'll hold the dry run tomorrow. Ma'am Joyce, I'm sorry, hindi na to baka. Tinanggal talaga ni DJ Mami sa loans. Maybe we can discuss it further with him.
Oo nga, sir. Pero kasi
Oo nga eh.
hindi kailangan talaga yun.
Pinagtanggol ko naman yun, ma'am. Talagang ayaw.
Ayaw yun. Oo.
Opo.
Sana
Sige.
lang malinaw, sir, sa kanya na hindi naman,
I
yun,
think,
application sa
ilang beses na namin
online
sinabi
lang
yun.
naman, ha?
Nung last time, sinasabi mo rin yun sa kanya. I heard you say that
Oo.
during the previous time.
4
Yeah.
months yun eh, bago ka makapag-loan pati. Dahil,
Okay, well, yung board di siya
yun,
makasama.
sir, ayaw ko rin mag-present sa board. Takot ako.
Sige, alright, that's it. Do you have any updates sa schedule? Do we still have another back meeting for this week? Wala na. Next week na, no? We have one for 22. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Sir,
Joyce.
open to, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, meron lang observation po kasi nag-ipin and then nagre-refer ako dun sa mga attachments. Sana lang, sir, kapag meron tayong other matters, ikabit po natin kasi yung notice of meeting, hindi pa natin alam kung ano yung other matters. Pero pag once na na-taken up na kung ano yung other matters, yung attachment po. Pag mag-refer ka, halimbawa meron tayong mga lalo kung may mga promotion pala yung other matters natin. Tapos hindi naka-specify doon sa notice of meeting po. Yun lang, sir.
I do agree. I understand some of the other matters medyo sobrang biglaan din, but as much as possible na dapat sinasulat at the very the title of what it's about para alam naman ng members. Okay, ma'am. Sige po. We'll do that.
Thank you, sir.
And then you were saying Irish kanina, the schedule?
Sir,
22,
the
diba?
next opening of 21, sir, for Ormoc and Lawag, and then 22 in the morning, Katbalogan, and then in the afternoon, we have Jensen and Tacloban Asphalt overlay.
Di ba Christmas party na?
Merry Christmas. Sir,
Sinagad
that is
din yun.
just only,
Sige.
that is until before 5, sir.
Bahala ka. Pagka tayo pinatawag doon. Sige. Alright. That's noted. Sige po for everyone who attended. Secretariat, TWG, thank you. And the members, maraming salamat po. Ma'am Joyce, Ma'am Bani, Ma'am Diane, Sir Janela. Magandang hapon po. Thank you.
Attorney, good afternoon.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Karil? Karil, nandyan ka pa?
Tawagin ko po, sir.
Karil,